Shalom Aleichem. When the Rebbe was teaching the Sicha of Beshalach Aleph of Chelek Chav Vav, and the Rebbe came to the Hayra'ah, it's quite an interesting Hayra'ah the Rebbe brought out. And in the original Sicha, the Rebbe shared a very funny, humorous story. Over here we have the Hayra'ah that even when a Yid isn't totally in a certain avodah, nevertheless, when it comes to time that you have to start a second avodah, you have to go away of the avodah bal karchach, but it's in a way that atochai, you're living in a different, you start living in a different avodah, even when you're very busy avodah. But when it comes to Moshe Rabbeinu, Atzivui, and the Spashtus of the Moshe in every generation, till the Rebbe the Shver, that now in this time you have to go learn Torah, Mekabel Zayin Torah, gate to that vek, you go away from your previous avodah, and you put yourself entirely into Kabbalah Torah, Limud Torah with the whole chayas. And this is also why we say that the time for Torah is separate and time of davening is separate. Both of them have to be b'chol meidecha, your whole heart. That when it's man tefillah, you have to be entirely in avodas tefillah b'chol meidecha b'li gvul. And nevertheless, when the time of tefillah is done and you have to go learn Torah, you have to be entirely vayisa. Go away from avodas tefillah and go into limud Torah and the whole thing. And this is one of the lessons of Achdin Shal Pesach and the idea of vayisa, that from a yid we demand both, the opposite. In this moment, you have to be entirely in the sinyan with the ganze chayes, and so much so that leaving is bal karcha. You really feel forced because you're entirely into it. And nevertheless, when it's the time of the second avodah, you go away and you do the same thing. And here's a bit that was said a humorous story. The story, like the Frierdiker Rebbe one time shared, that one time he was at a group of people that were fardveket, they were totally involved in the Hashem Echad, in saying the word Echad. And after that, one of the people mentioned Pasta eine Minute. So, which means the Rebbe says he was a German, he was a Yeke, and pasta was exactly 1 minute. I said Echad. So he was fardveket, he was meditating on Echad a full minute. Now this guy was a true person, so he looked at the watch before the dveikus and after the dveikus, and then he estimated to give him pasta in a minute, literally a full minute. So this was the Rebbe said, "Das ist doch a wild anecdote. It's a wild anecdote." Some people say that this kind of behavior is derech eretz, it's a pitayda, but that's against derech eretz and hepach haTorah. It's a wild anecdote. And we have to totally reject it. It's ridiculous. But you have to learn a lesson. And the lesson we can learn from it is, even though he's entirely in the dveikus of Echad, and that's the way it should be, but when the Echad time is done, and it comes the time that he has to start the second Avodah, he finishes the dveikus and puts in another Avodah. That's the lesson that learns from this humorous story. And this is in everything. This could be a yid that thinks that his Avodah is only kiyum mitzvahs, he gives stikka and he does with the whole chayas, and that's his whole busyness. Says no, even though you're busy giving tzedakah, nevertheless, when it comes the time you have to take on Torah, vayisa, you have to go away and put yourself in Torah. So too, somebody learns Torah and he learns Torah the entire time, but when it comes time for apat samayonis, put it away and go. Now you could ask, but what do I have to do with chutzah? I'd rather be in pnim. I want to do what I have to do. So too with avodas hatfilah, it could be somebody that's limud Torah kiyum mitzvahs, but I don't have to do avodas hatfilah. And it says that, but how taka can you accomplish it all when you're able to live in the paradox of all of them? And that's when the Rebbe continues in the Farbrengen and many lessons that the Rebbe learns from this Nekuda. L'chaim l'shalom. I just thought that the story adds some flavor to the learning we did.